I have been one of those people that honestly are very tired of this conversation because in order to pick somebody, you gotta denigrate someone else. But I really want to have this conversation because obviously it's one of the most entertaining and talked about debates in sports still after all these years. And I think it's fair to say that these two are easily the two greatest players to ever touch a basketball. But I wanted to just come on here and give you my thoughts. I organized a list and kind of gave you my final verdict on everything, so hope you enjoy it. And let's dive into it. So, the two players we are talking about today are LeBron James and Michael Jordan. So, here we go, guys. So, I want to start off with this. LeBron is my favorite player as a Cleveland Cavs fan, as an Ohio guy. Throughout his entire tenure with the Lakers, I obviously keep a very close eye on the Lakers as well because I love watching LeBron play. I also recognize the greatness of Michael Jordan. He's a six-time champion, a six-time NBA Finals MVP. Everybody knows MJ's greatness. It's obvious. I don't know a single basketball fan that doesn't know about how great Michael Jordan was. Obviously, he was the GOAT of his era and arguably the greatest of all time. So, yeah, I wanted to touch on it and I wanted to give you my thoughts, but let's start with this. As I said, one of the biggest debates in sports history. These are two amazing, amazing players, as I will continue to preach to the choir. And even though there's different eras, different play styles, different accomplishments, different stats, different metrics that I guess LeBron used a lot more advanced stats and advanced metrics that, MJ obviously didn't have back in his day. So, you look at it as like, okay, well, let's do the same metrics. So if you look at the metrics, the peak of it all is different than the actual argument, if you want to say. If you have a certain opinion, it is what it is. But anyway, these are two legendary players. And obviously Jordan, a 10-time scoring champion. He averaged 30 points throughout his entire career. He was the best known for obviously creating his own shot, an elite mid-range shooter, a pure scorer like none other. 10 straight years he led the league in scoring. 10 straight years. LeBron James has led the league in scoring once. However, he is the all-time leading scorer. He's a 27 point per game scorer. He's a versatile scorer. He can score with the best of them, and he can also pass, assist with the best of them. And his job is a lot varied than Michael Jordan was as a shooter and as a overall basketball player. So I would say Jordan is a better pure scorer. But LeBron obviously has the efficiency because Jordan took a lot more shots. As you know, like Jordan, he was known for, being like, no, I'm going to take this shot. LeBron goes in the huddle. He recognizes that if a look is good for him or if it's better for his other teammates, he recognizes that. He's a very smart player, but he has the longevity argument and the efficiency argument when it comes to scoring, which is why he's obviously the all-time leading scorer. And then you look at the assists per game. Obviously, Jordan, he had 5 assists per game. He was primarily a shooting guard. It means he was the best at his position. Obviously, of all time, he's the greatest shooting guard and arguably the greatest player who ever lived. LeBron is an elite passer. He averaged nearly 7.5 assists per game. He can play the 1 through 5. He can guard 1 through 5. So again, if you're looking at versatility, LeBron takes that. However, Jordan he perfected his shot. He was just an elite creator of his shot, as I said. He just knew, how to make his own shot. He knew how to make it the right shot for Michael Jordan. LeBron, he knows how to make the right play, and that's why you see him passing a lot of the times in crunch time. He gets a lot of crap for it. He said it himself. He gets crap for making the right play and for trusting in his teammates to, make a shot and whatnot. I don't really see that as a valid criticism. He does what he thinks he does. LeBron no doubt has the IQ and everything, but he gets crap for it. I just don't think that's a fair criticism. But you look at both of them, they were amazing offensive players, and both in different ways, I would say. And then you look at defense. Obviously, look, Jordan is a 9-time all-defensive first team. He won the DPOY in 1988, I apologize, before Scottie Pippen got there. And he was an elite perimeter defender as well. And then you look at LeBron. A 6-time all-defensive team. Hasn't won a defensive player of the year, but when LeBron won first-team all-NBA, first-team all-defense, I apologize, Marc Gasol, who didn't even get on the all-team defense, he ended up winning DPOY. I didn't really see that as like a fair award, winner. And that's not a disrespect to Marc Gasol. I just thought LeBron was worthy of that. And he says that shit burns to him to this day. Like, he still hasn't won a defensive player of the year, and that's always a goal of his. But if you're looking at the defensive side of the game, which is, I would say, more than half of the game, Michael has like the peak defense, but LeBron, obviously, with his size, Michael Jordan's 6'6". LeBron is 6'9", 260. He's got the IQ. He knows, different lineups and switches. I don't think LeBron gets enough credit for being just a basketball genius and a basketball mind. I feel like that's one of the few underrated traits of him. I mean, some people say he's one of the smartest players to ever play the game. I think he's arguably the smartest. I mean, him and Magic, I know Magic with his court vision and everything, he gets a lot of praise for it. LeBron is basically if Michael and Magic had a baby. That's the way I look at it. I mean, he's not as good of a passer as Magic Johnson, obviously, and he's not as good a scorer as Michael Jordan. So it's like, he has a little bit of both, and I think that's what makes his skill set very varied. And on the defensive side of the ball, I mean, take a look. I mean, he's got the size, he's got the IQ. He was a defensive beast in his prime, especially in Miami. Those years were his top-notch years of defensive basketball. But yeah, obviously, in terms of peak, Michael Jordan has the edge. And then obviously legacy, and I wanted to touch on it. It's bigger than just obviously rings and everything. Like Jordan is 6-0 in the finals. He never went to a Game 7, as we know. LeBron, he has 4 championships. He has a 4-6 finals record, but he does have 10 appearances, so that's a plus for him. The questions, and it goes deeper than this, but as far as like, this is like obviously the number one piece that people put in the GOAT debate, and that's because of, legacy and everything. I think Jordan has a very good edge. I mean, when you look at debates in sports and you look at legacy created in sports, a lot of the players that they attach themselves with an organization or a team. I mean, you look at Bill Russell, he's a Celtic. Kobe, he's a Laker. Magic Johnson, Laker. A lot of them. I mean, 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10 of them, like they end up having a team. I mean, Shaq, he played for a lot of teams. He played for like 6 teams, and obviously everybody knows him for being a Laker. LeBron, I mean, is he a Cav? Oh, he's a Heat. Oh, he's a Cav again. Is he a Laker? Like, who's his team? I would say, given that he's obviously from Ohio, from Northeast Ohio, like around that area, I would say he's a Cavalier first, but that's the question. And a lot of the guys, they attach themselves with an organization. Like San Antonio, they're going to carry the torch for Tim Duncan. Dallas is going to carry it for Dirk. The Lakers are going to carry it for Kareem, Kobe, Magic. Golden State is going to carry it for Steph. I think with him delivering that championship to Cleveland, which was obviously the biggest championship for his legacy, I think that's the team that's known for, like go into retirement known for. A Cav first, and I don't think that's me being biased. I think that's just me telling the truth. A Cav first, Heat second, Lakers 3. It could be because he's from Northeast Ohio, sure, but I think that's the biggest reason why. But as far as like attaching himself to a team, I mean, you talk about something about Michael in Chicago. I mean, it won't go so well. So they're going to carry the torch for him. So I think that's a big plus for Michael. He stayed with the same team. Obviously, yeah, he played his back end with the Wizards, but he's a Bull. He's a Chicago Bull. I guess you could give the edge to Michael but as far as competition, I mean, Michael's Bulls were never not favored. I mean, you look at the first championship against Showtime Lakers, James Worthy, he got hurt midway through the series. No one talks about that. People always talk about Draymond's suspension in the 2016 finals. Like, the details kind of get washed away as years go on. But, you look at the Showtime Lakers, obviously, yeah, they had some injuries. And then you look at the great teams that they played. I mean, they played a 64-win Sonics team. Yeah, they played the Jazz. Good teams, really good teams. But, I don't think any of them matched up with the 2015 Warriors, with even the 2015 Warriors. They damn sure couldn't match up with the 2017 Warriors, 2018 Warriors. I mean, those teams were all-time great teams. And then obviously against the 73-9 team, I mean, he took down, I would say, the best team to ever be beaten in a NBA Finals, a 73-9 Golden State Warriors team. And I think that made Michael very happy because he obviously went 72-10. And LeBron brought us a championship, his staple moment in his career. And I think as far as like legacy, like, yeah, obviously Jordan has the edge in terms of rings. I mean, you never know. If KD doesn't go to Golden State, could he have at least one more? I have no doubt in my mind they would have won in 17. 18, it's a C depending on if Kyrie stays. But he had some bad luck in the finals too. I mean, Kyrie and Caleb, they go down in 2015. I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong. He got some lucky breaks and everything. But he has 4 at the end of the day. He could have one more. Sure, but he's got 4, but he's got 10 appearances, so he's got the consistency. He went to 8 straight, and yeah, people said the East was weak and everything. He dominated them. He did what he was supposed to do, so I don't hold that against LeBron in any way at all. The competition comparisons is always a big question. I mean, you could say Jordan had to overcome the Pistons. He had to overcome the Pacers. Like, he got his ass kicked by the Celtics, like with Larry Bird and everybody, like before Scottie Pippen. So he went through the struggle of getting through the Pistons and everything, like similar to LeBron. I mean, he had to overcome the Celtics as well. So I think both these guys have had like overcoming struggles that helped them get to where they are. It's an interesting debate. So I mean, you kind of just have to like let it play out among the public because obviously this is the main staple point. So that's why I wanted to talk the most about this. But yeah, there's so many comparisons you could do, but it starts with these. These two are obviously the main talking points. So then you look at obviously the longevity. Jordan, he played 15 seasons, 2 retirements. One was, of course, due to a personal. He said he was burnt out mentally and physically, but I think that was due to a death in the family. LeBron, he played 21. He's played 21 plus seasons in his late 30s. Now he's 40, obviously. I just meant like in general, like he played all throughout his late 30s, and he just scored 50,000 points, obviously, a few days ago. So he's got the longevity argument for sure. Jordan, I mean, he's got like the aura around him that a lot of people, I guess, got attracted to in the 90s. I mean, you look at the 90s, it was like Jordan was the only one doing stuff like that, I feel like. So that's why I think a lot of people have like the magical feeling of like watching Michael Jordan play, because he was nasty on the court. He was kind of in ways, the jerk mentality kind of helped his case, and obviously the documentary did him a lot of favors as well. So you look at both these guys, they're both incredible, but I think my final verdict, guys, if you value peak, go with Jordan. I mean, Michael Jordan, at the peak of his career, you look at the different metrics, the PR and everything, like MJ's prime was the highest of that. However, you value longevity and an all-around talent, and there's no guys, LeBron is the best all-around player to ever play the game. There's no question about it. He's the most complete player to ever touch a basketball. So it depends on what you prioritize. If you're a Bulls fan, you're gonna say Michael's the GOAT. If you're a Cavs fan, you're probably gonna say LeBron is the GOAT. So it's like, I feel like Bulls fans, they have more of a, they obviously Michael brought tons of success to the Bulls and basically all their championships, and LeBron did that for the Cavs as well. But you're obviously gonna say, you're gonna hear more stories from Bulls fans, obviously, because 6 and everything, so their voices are gonna be heard a little bit louder. However, I think LeBron, his impact, he's the only player to win with 3 different organizations. That has to be into play. And I think longevity can be viewed as a factor, but I think at some point it has to be like a bigger factor than it is. Like longevity it has to be more than just, oh, he played longer. Like it has to take into account for something. So it's like, what do you prioritize? Do you value sustained excellence, all around, greatness on a night-to-night basis? You go with LeBron. However, if you're looking at like who brought the most at the height of his game, the most success that he possibly could, squeeze every bit out, go with Jordan. But LeBron has been doing it for 22 years, and obviously I grew up during his era, so obviously, and growing up as a Cavs fan, I mean, he's obviously been one of my favorite athletes, if not, yeah, he's been my favorite athlete in all of sports. So I enjoyed watching him. I do wish I got to watch Michael play. I mean, everybody knows how great he was. I think having the opportunity to see both these guys play, I mean, it would obviously make an easier comparison for me. But when you watch it on highlights, it just doesn't hit the same. But yeah, I mean, guys, it comes down to, like, again, what you prioritize more. If you prioritize peak, like Stephen A., he's talked about peak. He said, like, where were you at the height of your game? You go with Jordan. If you look at an all-around career, like a better all-around career, just all-around game, all-around just a complete player. Like, there's nothing he doesn't have. Like, he's added the three-point shot. Like, he's added so much to his game over the years as well. LeBron has to be your GOAT then. So, whatever you go with, you go with. You can't go wrong with either one, in my opinion. I mean, these are, again, the 2 greatest to ever play, and I don't think one has to be better than the other. I mean, I don't like the debate because, again, as I said in the beginning, being a fan of the game, being a fan of like watching LeBron, and being a fan of like understanding, like appreciating like what I've heard about MJ. I don't think one has to be better than the other. I think both these guys can be great in their own ways, and I think both these guys, like, they have tremendous respect for each other. I think you just got to celebrate them both. I think LeBron, I think he obviously gets a lot of hate now. When he's gone, I think the game will appreciate him a lot more, and then you'll kind of hear the GOAT debates resurface a little bit more. Whatever you prioritize, you go with. If you think LeBron's the GOAT, you're not delusional. If you think MJ is the GOAT, you're not delusional. But understand that both these guys are just great, and that's all that matters. But you guys have a great one. This is the last time I want to touch on this debate because obviously I'm also burnt out from it. Talked about it a lot over the years, and I'll see you guys next time. Go Cavs.